Regan Slaymaker for International Boxing News, and I have the pleasure to be joined by the IBF Super Featherweight World Champion Joe Cordina. Joe, how are you today, mate? Down at the Matchroom Gym?
Yeah, Regan, how are you, my man?
I'm very well, thank you. All the better for talking to you today. I mean, Joe, I do want to touch on kind of your 2023, mate. I mean, fight of the year contender against Shavkat Rakhimov back in Cardiff, and then the defence against Edward Vasquez. I mean, sum up your 2023 for me, mate.
Yeah, obviously I was injured for the first part of 2023, so yeah, lost my title, no fault of my own. They got stripped, I thought wrongfully, and then we had another shot straight back at the title. So yeah, I got to fight Rakhimov, got the win. Great fight for me, fight of the year. Even me watching it back and without being biased, to be honest, there was no fights in 2023, especially in the UK, that was even comes close, to be fair. Yeah, so got the win there, got the title back, and then we defended against Edward Vasquez. Bit of an unknown quantity, not much to go off. Subconsciously, maybe I took him a bit lightly, but yeah, even on a bad night, I still got the win. So yeah, he's a bit of a sore loser as well, which yeah, it's not nice when you got a bad loser in the ring with you. But yeah, fuck him anyway.
Definitely, mate. I mean, if for what it's worth, I definitely thought you got you done enough to win that fight, more than enough actually, it said. But I don't want to touch on that Rakhimov win. Obviously, kind of, I spoke to you after that fight, but did kind of, obviously the circumstances when you lost the title, but then to win it back in a fight like that as kind of a challenger almost, did it kind of make that win a little bit sweeter?
Yeah, no, do you know what made it sweeter? It wasn't the fact that I won the title back. I just believe in every fight I'm going to come out victorious anyway. So I already played it out in my head that I was winning that fight. So it was just the fact that I showed a completely different side to my fighting, my boxing. Not everyone was like, oh nah, he's going to get walked down, he's going to do this, Rakhimov's going to bully him and stop him in late on. Nah, if you come and watch me spar, I do that every single time I spar. I know I can box on the back foot. I know I can box long. I can move around, counter punch. I can do all that stuff. But I never had to show me going forward and fighting and standing in the pocket. And I showed that and on a big stage, you get me, for a world title. So yeah, I was just happy that I got the win in the way I did, and I didn't have to just do what I normally do and just box long.
Definitely, mate. I mean, I remember that night. I think that night will stay with me. I think I've never been in the media area when you dropped when you dropped Rakhimov, and I think everyone's kind of bias let out. I know everyone was cheering for you, mate. It was great. But I do want to touch on I mean, goes without saying, massive opportunity for you. May the 18th, fight with Anthony Cacace. I mean, buzzing for this one, mate, out in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia as well.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, it's a fight, so yeah, the occasion. I've been on big stages before. I boxed on AJ Klitschko. I boxed on AJ Takam, AJ Parker, Cal Brook, Errol Spence. I've been on them big stages. So I'm not even looking at that occasion. It's just the fighter that's in front of me, Anthony Cacace. Good fighter, strong fighter. He's strong in every department. So I got to make sure I'm switched on, and I trump him in every department, and I'm training, leaving no stone unturned, and yeah, I've been grafting, put it that way, and I've done pretty much 2 camps back to back. Like I said on an interview the other day, I done a camp in LA and Vegas, came straight back, carried on training. I was just in that mode, and then I thought, nah, I'm gonna have to, otherwise I'm gonna burn out. I'm gonna have to pull back. So I went on holiday, but I was still training every other day over there. I took my kit. I was going to Box IQ over in Dubai, and the odd day running as well. So yeah, I'll be more than well prepared.
Definitely, mate. And I thought I'm looking forward to the fight. And I think we were saying, well, I think we spoke off camera a while ago. I mean, kind of definitely kind of glad that kind of you're getting the opportunity. I think obviously a lot of talk of social media, but you were definitely the one calling for a massive opportunity, and you've got one obviously with that kind of IBO title on the line as well.
To be honest, I'm not sure even if it's on the line, but it's not even about that because it's still, I'm being talking for big fights. I don't believe this is the biggest fight that I could have got, but that's what was presented to me, so I took it. It's me trying to chase big fights and big unifications. It's not as easy as I originally thought. When you win a world title, I think everyone wants another world title and stuff like that, and I thought it's going to be easy because everyone wants one, so they're going to make the fights happen. But it's not as easy as that. Everyone just talks shit, and it's difficult, but we got to fight, and it's against an IBO world champion, and I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely, mate. I'm looking forward to it as well. You talk about kind of getting those big fights, getting those unifications. I mean, I feel like a lot of people, where you've made such a wave at Super Feather, Joe, I feel like people forget that you won kind of the British and Commonwealth titles at lightweight as well. I mean, I was just saying to you off camera, kind of the fight with Gavin Gwynn was on the second ever boxing card I ever went to. I mean, what a fight that was. But I mean, obviously your old friend, I mean, Shakur Stevenson, obviously that fight, you guys have talked about it before. You're both very respectful to each other. Do you think in the not too distant future you could see a move to lightweight and get in that Shakur Stevenson fight?
Yeah, of course. Listen, if after this fight, if I don't get a unification, I'm going up a weight anyway. It's why am I going to keep defending and fighting mandatories and this because them defences and mandatories, they ain't going to bring me the money I need to secure my family. So for me, it's either bring the unifications or I'm moving up to lightweight and try my hand at that. Why not? If I'm going to just keep defending and getting that money, I get the same money up at lightweight. So I'd rather try and aim for a 2-weight world champion than sticking around at Super Feather. So that's what my plan is. And if that fight's there, then it's there. Obviously I've made it known before that I won that fight. He mentioned it when he was at Super Feather, and then he said at a catch weight as well. So but if I come up to lightweight, there's no need for a catch weight. We can make a fight happen. But I got a job to do first on May 18th.
100%, mate, and we're looking forward to it. I do want to touch on something that I feel like went a little bit under the radar before your fight with Edward Vasquez. I mean, obviously you donated your kind of Wow Hydrate sponsorship to the Llanrumny Phoenix ABC. I mean, the amateur boxing club where kind of it started it all for Joe Cordina. I mean, but why is it important for you to kind of give back to your local amateur club and kind of see them thrive as well?
Well, it's a club. I never actually started at Llanrumny. It's a club that Tony Richards, Gemma Price as well. She's got a lot to do with behind the scenes. She runs that club as well as Tony Richards. So Tony Richards was a youth worker. He worked in the schools, and he was a caretaker in the schools. But he looked after all the youth clubs, and he took over the boxing gym to bring the kids off the street. And he opened a boxing gym, and I was going down there anyway to train, and he's a good friend of my father's also, so it just made it a lot easier. But I've been going there since I'd say 2012, 2013, something like that. They've changed places now, but they'll always help me out if I need to go there, and they'll open up for me. They keep it open for me late if I need to. So they help me a lot in that aspect. So why not give back? And the kids from the area I'm from, they don't really have much. So just little bits. I'll go there every now and again. I'll take a big box of trainers, maybe 20, 30 pairs of trainers, and leave them in there for all the kids, and for like they get homeless people coming in as well. So I'll take maybe 3, 4, 5 black bags every now and again of clothes just to leave there for them to go through and whatever. So I try and do as much as I can for that club. But it's always nice to give back anyway for the people that, especially from the area, don't have much.
Definitely, mate. I mean, it's fair play to you. I feel like obviously I feel like the world that boxing's in at the moment, a lot of fighters get a lot of unnecessary stick, and things like this go under the radar. So I think it's nice to kind of bring it to light as well. Another thing, Joe. Obviously, I mean, boxers from Wales, Welsh boxing. I mean, it's on a continuous rise at the moment. You're at the pinnacle of that. You've got Gavin Gwynn, you've got Lauren Price. I mean, you've got Brandon Scott as well, making waves. I don't know what he did his ring walk this time, but kind of, how do you kind of assess kind of the rise of Welsh boxing at the moment, mate?
Yeah, there's a lot of good fighters, and a lot of them don't get the recognition that they deserve. There's a lot of fighters that under the radar that you haven't even mentioned. The likes of Kane Shepherd, great fighter, technically one of the best young fighters I've seen. You've got the likes of Kieran Jones, great fighter, good amateur. Ben Crocker, who else is it? Rhys Edwards. Their fighters they're just in one gym, and they train with Gary Lockett out of Llanrumny boxing gym. So I see them on a daily when I'm home, and I see their progress, and yeah, a lot of them don't get the recognition. Then you've got the fighters that are in West Wales, then the fighters that are in Newport. Yeah, there's a lot of good fighters, but it's just a shame that there's not enough shows in Wales, big shows, for them to showcase their talent.
Definitely, mate. Well, I feel like the show with Lauren Price, where it is in Wales, I think they're stacking it with a few local talent. I think on
the boys I just mentioned from Gary Lockett's gym, they're on there.
Perfect. Well, get yourself down to Price McCaskill as well to see all those boys on there as well. Joe, I was just mentioning this off camera. I mean, a close friend of both of ours. I mean, Kevin Mitchell as well. He was talking to me about you the other day. I feel like when we talk about the best fighters in the UK, he's the first to mention your name if I'm not the second. But kind of he was also mentioning that kind of you gave him a few torrid times when you were sparring back in the day. I just thought, reflect on the period from kind of sparring Kev when you were on Team GB, now British, Commonwealth and world champion, mate. It's been some career so far, mate.
Yeah, obviously, I remember this quite clear actually. The one day I was in GB, every morning they'll put your name on the board to who you're sparring, so you know what you're doing throughout the day. Like obviously you're training 3 times a day. So when I've come in after my shadow boxing and my S&C, I've looked on the board and I can see my name. It says Kevin Mitchell, and I'm thinking, Kevin Mitchell? Nah, it can't be the pro Kevin Mitchell. Anyway, I've asked Paul Walmsley, who was my trainer up in GB. I said, who's Kevin Mitchell? He went, Kevin Mitchell. I went, fuck off, Kevin Mitchell. So I've gone back. Normally I go back and have a sleep. I didn't sleep. I shit myself. I was like, Kevin Mitchell. Obviously I've seen the fights you've had over the years and I was a fan. Do you get me? But I've watched it and I'm thinking, I was thinking, I'm going to get battered, dude. And I was up there for 6 rounds. I was thinking, fuck. And that's all I kept thinking. I've gone back, and you know when I couldn't sleep. Normally I'm straight, I go out like that. This time I couldn't sleep. So I've gone to the gym and I was just worried. I was just so scared of, not even scared, I was just so worried about getting hit and caught, because I knew he could punch with a left hook, so I was always wary of that left hook. But I was just in and out, probably sharpest I've ever been. And he says to me, he says all the time, he says, I thought I was surrounded. He said, I've gone back to the corner and I was like, Tom or Rob, how many of them are in there? He said, I thought I was getting surrounded. There was a few people in there at the time, but I sparred well that day, and he says it all the time, as you just mentioned. He'll say that I'm the best fighter in the UK by far. There was someone who messaged me on Instagram a couple of weeks back, and they went, Kevin, singing your praises up here. This was in Ireland. Singing your praises up here, and he rates you as the best fighter in the UK, and I believe that myself anyway. So and my achievements speak for themselves, really. So yeah, it's always good to have someone like Kevin, probably the best fighter never to win a world title from the UK, and maybe not in the world. So yeah, it's good to have someone like that speaking and speaking your praises the way he does for me.
No, definitely, mate. Shout out to our mate Kev every single time. Joe, that was my final question, mate. Have you got any final words ahead of your big fight with Anthony Cacace on May the 18th, mate?
Yeah, tune in. It's going to be a hell of a fight. I know he brings it, so I'm going to be bringing it. And yeah, they'll make for a great fight. I seen someone the other day saying about the card meant to be it's a poor card, and I was looking at the card and I was thinking, there's 3 fights on there probably guaranteed to be better than the main event, more exciting than the main event. So I was thinking, yeah, but listen, tune in. It's going to be fireworks throughout the whole night. So yeah, tune in.
Definitely, and I'm looking forward to it, and I don't understand the complaints about the undercard either. I think it's a stacked card, but Joe Cordina, thank you very much, mate. Cheers. Oh, there we go. Cheers.